Welcome to the Family Office, planning for the people who matter most.
I want to move on to the capitalist side of things, which is about Anthropic. And you know what happened where Fable 5, the government came in and said, nah, we need to take a pause on this. We're not going to allow you to move forward with this because this is too powerful. Chris, I know you're a tech guy, so man, enlighten us. What are your thoughts about it?
I understand the arguments with it. Okay. I understand what's happening here, but I think we got to get a grasp on this really fast because, and I know I use AI a lot, and I can tell you right now, I use several different models. I use several different brands, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that there has been a very big difference in how those models are responding to prompts that I already have answers on, right? And
I get them to talk to each other and police each other.
I love it. I love when they fight with you. I love to get them to, like, I talk trash to them all the time. Like, I'll say, hey, by the way, I don't know why you did such a poor job with this, but your competitor,
there's the other guy, your
competitor is killing you right now, killing you. And he's like, and they're like, I was like, do you want to give it a shot or not? And you know,
I'm not going to change my personality. This is how I was created.
And they're like, what I don't, right. But what I do see a lot, which I think is troubling, is because, you know, I've listened to a lot of opinions on this, is when it says, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do this anymore because it would violate our such and such, right? And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you did it for me before. I don't understand, right? I have an answer from you before because, you know, I copy paste, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's troubling because that just you're going down the road of censorship. But I understand why they don't want to release it. I understand why they because they become to this and to this. There's safeguards around that. The only thing that doing that allows to do is it allows competitors to create open sourced models that are, because as soon as they did that stuff, because they undid it now, right? As soon as they did it, you saw these open source models like in China stuff just completely catch up like that, right? Mm-hmm. Because whenever you stifle, and we've learned this, you increase prices and you decrease competition and you allow other people, and especially in the world we live in today, this is more of a problem today than it was 50, 100 years ago, is you create opportunities now for your adversaries to come in and do what you were trying to do because you stifled the growth of innovation. So when you say people, like for example, when you say Mondami's filling a void, he's filling a void because of failed policies. Mm-hmm. California's broke 100%. Because of failed policies. So if we start policing that kind of stuff and we start, like, obviously there should be certain things like, hey, I want to make a pipe bomb. You know what I mean? There are certain, hey, I want to make a bioweapon or engineer this thing. There are certain, because you don't know, like, for example, let's say a big corporation is using your model and then all of a sudden, you know, some random consultant or person who's using it triggers this gap, and now all of a sudden you're locked out of whatever you're doing. You're going to have so many unintended consequences where the model might start restricting things certain ways, and it might not restrict certain things another way, and you might start getting false positives or negative or false negatives, and you just mess with anytime you start to restrict and you start to meddle, that's when things start to mess up, I think. Yeah. And like, for example, when you're saying you're talking earlier about controls and stuff, a lot of it has to do too with chaos theory, right? With Charlie Kirk and the way that the weapon did something. I mean, you don't know that for a fact. I mean, it could have caused those. It could have been one of those 1 in a million opportunities where it happens that way. You know what I mean? Air breathed at the right. Like, remember a few years ago when that football player, he's a young guy and he stood up and then he collapsed right on the field, and it's because he had because
Hamlin,
the way
number 3 from Buffalo,
because if you get hit with a certain amount of pressure and your heart has to be beating a certain type of way or contracting a certain type of way, if you get hit at all those same times, you can stop your heart, right? And that's exactly what happened to him. So there's a lot of chaos theory in it as well, where we don't know. But I do think that's where the government has to come in and do sound oversight, not regulation, but sound oversight. Hey, these are the things that aren't, and these are the things that are. And now they unrestricted it. Why they restricted and unrestricted so fast, Len?
Well, because it was an issue of national security. And so what happened is the government restricted access Fable 5 and also Mythos 5 because the order required it to suspend access to foreign nationals, whether inside or outside of the United States, including foreign national Anthropic employees. And so
I agree.
And to
I agree with that then.
100%. And so to me, my take is that the United States government should never weasel itself into the affairs of private enterprise and private businesses unless the interactions and actions of a business has the capacity to compromise national
sovereignty,
national and the security threat. If it compromises sovereignty and it's a national security threat, I think the government has a right to, like you said, put some guardrails on and have some measures in place to prevent those types of things from happening to the greatest extent possible. But the companies also should be the ones who impose as many guardrails as possible to prevent those types of things from happening. And so again, it also goes back to unintended consequences like you talked about before, Chris. You're not going to, as a human being, be able to account for every little single variable in detail because it's just impossible. It's too many of them. And so, but I think as AI grows, we need to also make sure that we use the older models to police the newer models. So for example, when version 5 gets invented, version 4.8 should be able to look at all of the different possible variables in real time and say, oh, there's an anomaly here. Let's red flag it. And then, allow a human to go and, oh, okay, yeah, that was just XYZ. That was a quick little thing. And that was just a little bug we need to fix. Or, oh my goodness, this is a problem. We need to make sure that we account for this. Let's put up this new guardrail. But the company should be the ones primarily responsible for that. The moment government gets involved in that role, that becomes the slippery slope where now more and more control begins to get exercised. So I would say all of that to say that I agree based on the rationale that the government did have a right to come in and step in this instance. But I'm glad that they were quick to undo it too. I respect that.
Absolutely. But here's the thing that I think about. Why has it become so political that we should even know that this is happening? Like Anthropic and all these guys should be working in the background with the government going, hey guys, we've because that's really that's the way it used to be, right?
But here's
Isn't
the
that
reason.
The way it used to be?
It used to be that way. But information travels so fast. So here's the thing. What happened?
I don't know about that, though.
Okay, but Chris, think about this. Fable 5 was released, and the next day people were online all over the place. Like, I'm not even like a tech bro, and I even knew about Fable 5. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, this is so revolutionary. This is so much better than every other thing by far. It runs laps around every other model.
But that's my point. They know before they're going to release this model. They know the beta testing is not an old deal. So they know this model is going to be powerful. Mm-hmm. They should have went, hey guys, we got something cooking here. Just like they did with the internet, just like they've done with everything. Yeah. Hey guys, we got something cooking here. Mm-hmm. I mean, Lockheed Martin doesn't come out or whatever and say, hey guys, we got this amazing technology. Look at it. Oh wait, we're going to restrict it.
Okay. So I got a question for you.
It's got to be under wraps. I think AI is getting to a point, if it's that dangerous, then these companies need to start working closely with the government and saying, hey, and I hate government, Len, but I'm like, the government's job is to make sure that we don't kill ourselves, right?
That's it. And that's the thing. Like, here's the question that I have for you, because I agree with you. And I feel like I'm kind of taking your position in a sense, because like, to me,
rubbing off on you, Len.
So to me, okay. Well, the difference is that, like, for example, when you had the internet, it was so brand new. It was a wild, wild west for a long time.
A very long time.
And the information didn't travel as fast. And so do you think that Anthropic was wrong for releasing it? Or do you think the government was wrong for stepping in?
No, I think what was wrong was Anthropic shouldn't have released the model.
Okay.
Because I'm sure there are models that are way more powerful than those models already. I mean, it would be stupid to think we don't have them. And they went, wait, guys, we can't. But I think the biggest issue that I think with the data And with all of this stuff here, Len, is I think that a lot of the AI stuff is going to expose a lot of the BS in our data. We're going to see how bad our data is with the AI, because I think the AI is going to find a lot of contradictions to a lot of things. And I think that's what scares people the most. I could be wrong,
I think a lot of people are going to get caught up for tax fraud.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, I don't even think it's that. I think it's everything. And I think that's why Elon Musk went, this is not fixable. Because, I mean, realistically, yeah, you start putting that stuff on there and the AI is going to go, But again, I think that's what's dangerous too, is because I think that a lot of the data is bad.
Yep.
So it could say something's bad, and it could say it's not. Like I stump the crap out of the AI all the time because I test it and I'm like, find me this, and then I go, dude, it's wrong. It's wrong. Right. It's wrong. How could it be so wrong on this?
That's the thing. AI is so smart and so dumb at the same time.
Like I took a picture of something and I said, and it's two well-known people in this picture. Like they're not in modern well-known people. And I said, tell me what this is, or tell me what they're doing here and it completely,
they hallucinated on you, didn't it?
Two massive models. And I've been working with these models for over a year, training them. They like how both got it dead wrong, and both gave me two dead wrong answers.
Yeah.
And I went, whoa,
we have a long way to go.
We have a long way to go.
No doubt about it. So with that being said, Chris, any parting words before we wrap up?
Have a killer week, everybody. Like, subscribe. If you like this, drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Len, see you on the next one, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Conversation has given you clarity on your next steps. Please share this episode with someone who's walking the same path. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss future episodes. And remember, planning ahead isn't just prudent, it's an act of care. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Family Office.